All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Simplifying Healthy Decisions with Dino. Our guest Dino, all the way from Bali today. As you can see, he moved into a new place and now he's still trying to get it set up. He's in the dark. That's okay. He's joining us pretty late at night. We appreciate your time, Dino, and looking forward to some of the pearls of wisdom you have for us today.
Yeah, let's do it, man. I'm excited. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. So last time we talked a little bit about communication with the people that you live with or the people that you hang out with, so they know what you're trying to do with your nutrition. We talked a little bit about nutrition levels. We talked a little bit about activity levels. Today, what do you want to talk about today? Well, how about mindset? You good with mindset today?
Yeah, perfect.
I think that's a big one. That's something that people don't always associate with nutrition and fitness and things like that. So what do you want to talk about from a mindset perspective?
I think before starting any weight loss journey, fitness journey, it's very important to believe that you can actually do it, and also visualize your success. Visualize, if you want to lose 10 pounds, visualize yourself how you're going to look like with the 10 pounds gone, how you're going to fit into the clothes that you want to wear, how you're going to walk, how you're going to talk. I know, a lot of your audience, they're already confident, but we know that, losing a little bit more weight and fitting into those clothes is going to help us feel even more confident. So having that image of what you want to look like and almost becoming obsessed with it in a way is important, because it's going to drive you, right? The subconscious is going to drive you upwards instead of down the hill, and you're going to find yourself taking action consistently. I know for me, that was the one thing that really helped me going in the beginning, because the beginning stages, you'll see some results in the beginning, but after 1 month, 2 months, a lot of people stop. And that's where mindset, I think, is very, very, very important, because you see a lot of results in the beginning, but after that, it's harder to get results. You're not going to see as many results. You're not going to drop as body fat as fast. So mindset is a very powerful one. I think visualization and focusing on the identity of the person that you want to become, as opposed to the short-term weight loss, is a very powerful thing that can drive you towards where you want to go.
Okay. So I'm going to butcher the saying. I'm going to butcher the title of the book. So I'm not even going to say the title of the book. I'll come back to it another time. It's actually a really good book that I was reading a while back, but it talks about the only way to really break into a new habit is when the pain that you're being caused finally outweighs the desire not to change. Yes. So there has to be some sort of intrinsic motivation to get you started and on that journey. And you can either continue making excuses for yourself, whether it's, hey, I just don't want to change my lifestyle or whatnot. But there's a lot of things that people put in there as their own kind of safety nets or excuses or the rationale, so to speak, to keep getting there. And I do that all the time. That's one of my flaws, right? I think I shared with you before, I'm hypoglycemic, so I make sure I don't skip a meal. And whenever I'm feeling really bad, I found the best thing that works for me is a Coca-Cola, literally, Coca-Cola. And so these aren't healthy. These are just more Band-Aids. But people would rather put a Band-Aid on something than to fix it. And I fall in that category as well. So mindset is huge, not only after you start the journey, but even getting going to begin with, right? So we all have to be realistic about our goals. Is my goal to look like you? That's the question that I have to ask myself. I don't know if I have the time and energy to put all that in there. And I'm rocking the dad bod, and I realized last night I'm now the heaviest I've ever been, and I don't like that. So I need to do something. And I've even made some better decisions here in this last week. It's just, I think I shared with you previously, whenever I have one too many, we talked about alcohol last week, right?
Right,
Or
right,
even one
right.
of your small sessions. We talked about alcohol. And what you mentioned a chemical in your body. It's not the alcohol that actually does the caloric uptake. It's the effects of it the next day. What was that? Can you talk us through that a little bit?
Yeah, so a lot of people think, oh, it's alcohol on the weekends. It makes me go over all my calories. I want to enjoy myself. But if I jump on a diet, they feel that that is going to be taken away from them because it causes them to go over on the calories. And the reality of the situation is, yeah, if you overdo it and you go in on the beers and you have your whiskeys and your colored spirits and cocktails, then yes, you will go over. But after coaching, a lot of people over the years and looking at their data and looking at the liquids that they're consuming, it's a glass of wine, a couple glasses of wine, maximum, I say half a bottle. And usually when people come to me, they're also in a deficit already.
Mm.
So, even with having the wine, if we look at the numbers, that usually fits into their deficit. But the problem is, I've spoken about this before, is the protein target is usually the one that's off. And obviously they're not doing enough in terms of activity. So there's that. And what happens with the hunger hormones is ghrelin ramps up, sends a signal to your body, and you start to get hungrier, right? It's the same thing happens when you don't sleep as much. When you don't sleep as much,
Yes.
ghrelin ramps up, and a lot of people, studies have shown that they consume roughly 300 calories extra the day after, usually in the forms of sugar, carbohydrates, starchy carbohydrates. So that is really what causes people to go over on the calories on the weekend, and then they jump on the scale on Monday, and then they look at the scale,
And
and
they
then they
cry.
compare it to and then they cry and they think that they don't make it, they're not making any progress. That what's the point, kind of thing.
Yeah.
They get frustrated. So I always say, listen, you do get back on it Monday, up your activity level, eat your protein, and then weigh yourself on Tuesday. And this happened with actually a client of mine who actually watched the video that I did talking about this, and she thought she only lost 1.5, but she actually lost 3.
Mm.
So yeah, just want to put things into perspective for people and help them understand that, listen, if you're just an average person, normal, human being, you're probably going to have a couple glasses or whatever, or a couple beers. It's fine. It's not a problem. I actually have, a little bit here. that,
It's Friday
that I
night. I
had
mean, go
tonight.
ahead.
Do you know
Right.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't think there's a problem with that. I think that, again, it comes down to mindset and pushing past that and overcoming that obstacle and telling ourselves, okay, we've done everything that we needed to do. And we can't just look at one day, right, and get caught up
Mm.
on one day or one reading on the scale. It's better to look at, the whole week and ask yourself, okay, did I do well 5 out of the 7 days? And for most people, if they're on a program, that usually is yes.
Mm.
But then social events and family things and things going on, they consume a bit of alcohol, they get on the scale on Monday, and then they feel frustrated, and the whole kind of, they're stuck in this cycle. So yeah.
So it's interesting that because I've heard you talk about ghrelin before, and for me, I'm hypoglycemic, so my body processes the alcohols, processes the sugars very quickly. So
Mm.
whenever I have one too many, I'm talking like I've had 3 instead of 1, right? And so I was thinking it was just the alcohol, but I only got like 4.5 hours of sleep yesterday. So the combination of the 3 and the 4.5 hours, man, my caloric intake yesterday was nuts. And so I haven't heard that on the sleep, but I know my body does recognize that. So thank you for putting that in perspective. I think that's going to help my mindset, right? Just knowing ahead of time what's going to happen, not just thinking that I can, right? So there's a positive mentality, and there's also taking away the ignorance of not knowing the consequences, right? So if you understand the consequences and how your body's going to respond to things, then that's going to be a motivator to make better decisions.
Exactly. And you know what you mentioned about having realistic expectations, that's a very important part of the process as well, because if you think that you're going to lose weight, the same amount of weight every single week as you were doing in the beginning when you first got started, as we say in the UK, you've got another thing coming. It doesn't work that way. It fluctuates, goes up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. But if we have these expectations, like you said, and understand how the body works and the processes and the hormones and you know, the variables that impact the weight reading, then our expectations will be realistic, and reality will then match our expectations. But if our expectations are up here and reality comes down here, then boom, we hit a brick wall, we get emotional, and then some people just you know, slow down or stop.
Right. So you're onto something with the expectation. So let's talk about that for just a moment, and then I think it's a good stopping point for this week. But
cool.
I think different people are going to have different expectations. Some people have a weight loss goal. Some people have a body image goal. Some people are going to have a, you know, I just want to feel better type goal.
Yeah.
My body feels run down all the time. It's because I'm not making the best nutrition, and I'm not increasing my activity levels. And that's pretty much where I am. That's what I would like to do. I just want my body to feel better. And that's one of the reasons why I like talking to you, because it's not just about activity. It's not just about nutrition. It's not just about mindset. It's about healthy habits. It's about morning, evening routines. It's about getting your whole mind, body, and spirit kind of together, so that you can actually feel better as a whole. So I appreciate your perspective on that. What other goals do you see besides weight loss, body image, and just overall feeling better? Do you have any other clients that have other goals besides that?
Not really. I mean, you pretty much mentioned all three categories.
Okay.
There's some people, you know, they want to lose weight and they want to look good at the same time. And, you know, there's a lot of family guys and women that I talk to that they want to do it for longevity, health, you know, look after the kids and things like that, which you know, is a big one as well. So I think everybody's why is different, and that's also, I think, a very important part of the process. And I get all my clients to write down, you know, why they're actually doing this, because sometimes we forget.
Yeah,
we get caught up in the moment, and we're like, well, this isn't for me. But if we always try to revert back to, you know, why we're doing this, and you know, I say, yes, you are doing this for yourself. You are doing this to look good. You are doing this to, you know, fit into your clothes and have more energy. But let's take the people around us into consideration as well. Because, you know, a lot of people that I talk to are, you know, like I said, family people. They run businesses, they have employees, and they're the biggest player in the whole operation.
Right.
So if you can't perform at a level that you're supposed to perform at, and lead the people around you which need to be led, if your health is being jeopardized, then that's going to have an impact on those abilities, and obviously we don't want that. So you know, if we can think beyond just surface level, just losing the way, if we can bring other people into the, you know, I think it's a very powerful thing to reflect back on.
All right, guys, so you heard it here first. Know your why. Why am I doing this? Why am I trying to get better, get healthier? And let's go from there. Let's start from there next week.
Cool. Sounds good, Travis.
All right. Appreciate it, buddy.
Thanks for having
me. Good luck with the new place, and we'll talk next week.
Cheers. Yeah. We'll speak soon. Take care.
Absolutely. Bye.
Bye.